Hi, 7th graders. We are doing 16.2-2, telling time before and after the hour. I want you to pay close attention to this clock. There are colors in sections of this clock. And on your clock, so I want you to have this page out as we go through this because you'll need it and you'll be drawing on yours as well. I want you to go ahead and I want you to draw a line straight down, okay? So that is sectioning off or dividing the clock in halves. There's a half on this side and there's a half on that side, okay? Or if we had divided the line here, it would be the top part is half and the bottom part is half, okay? But right now, we're going to focus on this being half, this being the other half. All right, and now what we're going to do is we're going to divide our clock horizontally. So now we have a vertical line and a horizontal line dividing our clock. Okay. It is divided into 4 parts. This is a part, this is a part, this is a part, and this is a part. 4 parts. And 4 parts are also called quarters. Okay? So up here, I'm just going to write that word, quarters. And if you remember on our clock at school, we had something written right here. Do any of you remember what it is? I know a few of you do, because on our morning work, sometimes you would get candy if you had written this, and sometimes you would get a pick in the treasure chest. Sometimes you just get recognized for doing that extra step of writing it. So whenever that minute hand is over here, it is quarter after, or we also say quarter, I'm going to put a line here, past. Okay, can you guys see that? Quarter after, quarter past. Okay? So a quarter of this clock would be, count with me, 5, 10, 15. So this would be 15 right here. Okay, and you may write that as well. And this would have been 5. We'll put a 5 here. And this is 10. And I know this was on our clock in the classroom as well. So we have 5, 10, 15. Up here, it's 0, 0. Okay? So, whenever that minute hand is over here on the 15, whenever that minute hand, or the longer hand, is over here on the 15, it's quarter after or quarter past. Okay? This is a quarter of the clock. 1 part out of 4. All right? Now, if we go down here, if we start up here with the minutes and we count 5, 10, 15, this would be what? 20, 25. And I hope you're setting up your clock just like I am. And then 30. Okay, hope you see that clearly. So we have 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. Now, when we get over here to this 30, we have gone halfway around. Remember when we drew this vertical line? It separated our clock into halves because this is half and this is half. So when we get all the way to the 6, half of the hour has gone by, and that is 30 minutes. So when that minute hand's over here, we would say half past. So 2:30 would be half past 2. 12:30 would be half past 12. 8:30 would be half past 8. Whenever that minute hand is pointing to the 6, that's halfway around the clock. Okay, half past. So quarter after or quarter past when it's pointing to the 3. Okay, and half past here. Now if we continue counting by fives, so we did 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Count with me. 35. 40. Read that. 45. Okay. Now, here we are over at the 9. Okay. That means we're at 45 minutes. Does anybody remember what happens when we're at the 9? Because remember we talked this year about when that minute hand's at the 3 and the 9, those are some different kind of times that you had learned than what you were used to in first grade. Okay, we're at a quarter mark again. We're at 1/4 of the clock that we still have 15 minutes to go before the next hour. So it would be quarter to whatever that number is. Like if it's going to be 8 o'clock, and I'm going to see if I can make this darker for you guys. That doesn't look too dark. I gotta find my, oh, here it is. All right, so this is quarter after or past. 42, and this is half past. And I'm going to make sure I put 45, 15, and 30. So those are really important, okay? Now when we get to 45, we're quarter to the hour. So we only have 15 more minutes before we get to this on the hour, exact hour. So 45, we continue, we'll end up with 50, 55, and back up to, this is 60 minutes have gone by. 60 minutes have gone by, 1 whole hour. Okay? So, each one of these is 15 minutes. This is 5, 10, 15 for that quarter. This is 5, 10, 15. So 15 and 15, we get to 30. So that's 15 minutes for this quarter. 5, 10, 15. 15 more minutes gets us to 45 minutes. 5, 10, 15 will get us to 60. So it's 15 minutes per each quarter to make up the whole clock, the 1 hour. All right? Now, we're going to take a look, and I am going to set the clock. And let's see if you can figure this clock out. I'll make sure I put the right time here. All right. Here's our time here. Here's our clock, our first clock that we're going to do on this. All right, so let's take a look at this. We want to look at the hour hand first, okay? Now it's not pointing exactly to the hour, okay? It's about here, all right? So it hasn't reached the 2, so what hour would this be right now? It would be 1, so we'll put 1 here, okay? And then, I'm not going to do it up here. If I do it up here, then the clock is just going to look a hot mess when I do this drawing on here. So, here we have 1. Now let's look at the minute hand, and let's count how many minutes we have. So start at the 12, 5, 10, 15. So it would be 1:15, okay? But you know that when it's 1:15, whenever the minutes are on this 3, what else do we call it? That's right, 1/4 after 1. So I am going to put 1/4 after, or I could say past, 1 o'clock. So 1/4 after 1 or 1/4 past 1. Okay? You see that? Read that 1/4 after 1 or 1/4 past 1. All right, but there's lines here and it says blank minutes after blank. Well, let's look at the minute hand. Minute hand. How many minutes have gone by? When it's at the 3, how many minutes have gone by? Yep, that's 15 minutes after what hour? 1. Same as 15 minutes after 1. 15 minutes, these are the minutes, after 1 o'clock. And another thing, boys and girls, you guys all made this clock. That's another thing that you could do, is you could take and you could go 5, 10, 15, real small, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and here we have 60 or 00 o'clock. Okay? You could also, over here, you could also make this, circle it, and just put a Q for 1/4. So that whenever that minute hand's on there, you know that you can say 1/4 after whatever the hour, or 1/4 to whatever the hour will be. All right? And then you can use this clock when you do the test. So making this clock was a good thing because you can use this on your test. You can also use this on your test if you'd like. Okay, so now we have 1:15, and now we're going to do, I'm going to put a different time in here. Let's see. Let's go. Can you see what I'm doing here? All right, here we go. Okay, I want you to take a second, see if you can figure out what time that is. All right? Keep in mind, where do we start? Always, when we're looking at our clock to determine what time it is, we start with the little hour hand, the hour hand. Okay, so we look at this hour hand, and if I were to draw a little line, I'm just going to put my pencil up here, where is it? Where is it pointing to? Well, it's pointing right between the 3 and the 4. Okay? So that means it hasn't reached the 4 yet. So it's not 4 o'clock. It hasn't reached there yet. So it is 3. So we'll put 3 in the hour spot here. And I'll go back and let's look at the minutes. Well, I already used my clock and I put in orange the little minutes over here, counting by 5s. So when I'm down here, which that's where the minute hand is pointing, right on the 6, it's 30 minutes. Okay, it's 30 minutes, so I can put 3:30 here. It's 30 minutes. But I also want to know, when it's down here, what special words should we use to identify this time? What's another way of saying 3:30? Instead of just 3:30, we can say halfway around the clock. The minute hand went halfway around. So we could say half past 3. Half past 3 or half past 3 o'clock. So half past 3. So you'll hear people say half past 3, half past 8, half past 12. And that's just the same as saying, if I'm saying half past, 12:30 or 1:30 or 2:30 or like in this, 3:30. 3:30 is half past 3. The hour is 3 and we've gone halfway around. And notice that the hour hand is between the 3 and 4 also. So the minute hand went halfway around the clock, but then the hour hand moves also. Moves a lot slower, at a slower pace, but it also moves halfway between the 2 hours, between one number and the other, okay, halfway. And on our paper, it's asking you to tell yet another way to say 3:30. So we have 3:30, we have half past 3, and we have to say something minutes after something. Well, let's look at the minute hand. How many minutes went by? Yup, there's that 30 down there. So we say 30 minutes after what hour? After 3. 30 minutes after 3. Okay? Now let's take a look at the next one. All right. I am going to set up the clock for this one, I guess. So hang tight. All right. You need to look very carefully. Take your time. See if you can figure this out. Remember, the first thing that you look at is the hour hand. Okay, so the hour hand is pointing almost on the 12, but not quite. It's between 11 and 12. It has not reached the 12 yet, so it is still, that's right, 11. And now let's go to the minute hand. Well, I already put on my clock all the minutes. So we get down to here, it's 30, 35, 40, at that 9, it's 45 minutes. So it's 11:45. Okay, are you following? Hope I'm not going too fast. 11:45. And I'm going kind of slower because this lesson is not an easy one. Okay? So now, 11:45, it says blank minutes after blank. Well, we can look here, and we can also look here. Where's the minute hand? How many minutes have gone by? Okay, it started here and it went all the way around. How many minutes? Or we can look here. How many minutes? So 45 minutes after, well, what's the hour up here? It's not 12 yet. It looks like it's getting pretty close to 12, which it is. It's only 15 minutes till it gets to 12, but it's still 11. So 45 minutes after 11. And then it says blank minutes before blank. Well, how many minutes, guys, before we get to that 12 o'clock? How many minutes? The minute hand's right here. It has just to get to here. Remember how we said on this clock, each one of these quarters is how many minutes? Yeah, each one of these is 15. This is 15, this is 15, this is 15. So if it's pointing to this 45, it's pointing to this 45. How many minutes do we have? 5, 10, 15 minutes. So down here we put 15 minutes before, what time will it be? 15 minutes before what? 15 minutes before 12. It will be 12 o'clock. 15 minutes before 12. Okay, and now I'm going to put this back over here because I want to talk to you also about when we saw this on our papers in the morning work, and some of you got candy or picked from the treasure chest or just a big shout out that you were putting the extra effort into it. What time would this be? What else do we call this? And notice I put a Q here around it. So what time could that be? Now over here it's quarter after, but here it would be, yep, you can look over here. What did we write? Quarter to. So down here, or next to it, I want you to write quarter to, what time is it going to be? What time will it be when we go? Yep, quarter to 12. Quarter to 12. Okay? All right. Now we're going to do one more before we go on the inside. And now remember, I told you that this is going to be a difficult, so I'm going to spend some time on this so that hopefully you understand how to do the homework. All right, so I'm going to give you a second, look at the clock, and I want you to see if you can figure out what time it is. Keep in mind, look at the hour first, and then the minutes. Okay, so we'll look at this hour, and if I draw the line all the way out, it's between the 6 and the 7. If I went between the 6 and the 7. So, has it reached the 7 yet? That's what I always have to ask myself. Ooh, it's right between, has it reached this? No, it has not. So it is 6 o'clock. And then let's take a look at the minutes. Now we can start up here and go all the way around the clock by 5s. Okay? Or we could start right here at the 6. This is 30. So count with me. 35, 40, 45. Or we could start here because now we learned that this is 15 over here and this is 45 over here. So 45, 50. And I also wrote the minutes there. 50. And we also wrote it here. 50. So it is 6:50. Okay? So it says blank minutes after blank. Well, how many minutes went by? There's the minute hand pointing to. Yep. 50 minutes after. What is the hour, guys? After 6. Okay? Now it says blank minutes before blank. Well, now we want to look at, because it's so close to that 12, how many minutes before it gets to the 12? How many minutes will this minute hand have to move? So let's count. 5, 10. Let's try that again. 5, 10. So 10 minutes before it's what time? 7 o'clock. So 10 minutes before 7. All right, now we're ready to go on the inside. All right, I hope you're understanding. Push this down a little bit. Let's see if I turn this off, it would be easier to see, probably. All right, so make sure, hopefully you have all this written. If you don't, pause the video and go ahead and copy all this so you have it. And you want to keep this so you can use as an example, okay? So now, up at the top it says 12 minutes after 1 or quarter past. So there's that quarter past. Quarter past. And then 30 minutes after, right here, is half past. And then 50 minutes after 1, 50 minutes all the way after, we just did that. This one, 3:30, notice how that hour hand's right between the 3 and the 4. It's not on the 3 and it's not on the 4. It moved halfway, just like this minute hand moved halfway around the clock. All right, so half past. And then over here, we have quarter to, and it's going to be 4, quarter to 4. Okay, and then this one's 10 minutes before 4. So those are the things that we just went over. All right, so let's take a look at complete both clocks to show the same time. Then circle another way to say the time. Well, we look at the hour hand. And if we look at the hour hand, between the 2 and the 3, it has not reached the 3 yet, so it is 2. Okay, and let's look at the minute hand. It's halfway around. This is 30. So it's 30 minutes. And over here, it would be half past 2. Okay. Now let's look at this clock. We look at the hour hand. We finish it all the way. It's between the 6 and the 7, so it has not reached the 7, so it's 6. And then over here, it's on that quarter. 45 minutes have gone by. So if it's on that quarter, is it quarter after or past or quarter to? Yep, it is quarter to, because we only have a few more minutes before we get to that 12. Quarter to 7. All right. Because it has not, it's already gone past. It says quarter past 6. It's gone past by 45 minutes. Okay. Let's take a look at the third. Let's look at the hour. So if I finish that line, it is at the 9. And I look at the minute hand, and it is on the 2. So if you count by 5s, 5, 10, so 9, 10. Okay, and is it 10 minutes after 9 or is it 10 minutes before 9? Well, the hour is 9 o'clock, so it is 9. And so it's 10 minutes after 9. It's not before 9, otherwise it'd be 8 something. Okay? Write 2 ways to say 5:30. Well, remember, up here, half past. So we would say half past, what's the hour? 5, half past 5. Or we could say how many minutes? 30 minutes past what time? 30 minutes past 5. So there's 2 different ways to say. Sorry, my cat's getting in the way. I have to move her. She thinks she can jump in here. She'll be laying all over this. Okay, the word bank. Quarter past, half past, quarter to. All words that we've just been going over. Complete both clocks to show the same time, then write the time before or after the hour. The cat's coming in again. I got a blocker, like a playing basketball or something. All right. Over here, we look at the hour. Between the 4 and the 5, yep, they give you, it's 4. And then over here, oh, look at that minute hand. Remember, when it's on the 3, it's quarter after. And when it's on the 9, it's quarter to. So how many minutes have gone by? This is 30, 35. So I'll put 30 down here. 35, 40. This is 45, so it's 4:45. Or 15 minutes before, when it gets up to here, what time is it going to be? Well, it's already 4 o'clock, so what time will it be in 15 minutes? That's right, 5 o'clock. 15 minutes before 5. All right, let's look at this one. Let's look at the hour hand. If I extend it out, it's a little past 12, so it's still 12 o'clock. It hasn't reached the 1. We put 12. And then that minute hand's right over here. Is that one of those quarter marks? Okay. So this is 5, 10, 15 minutes. And we also call it quarter past, that's right, 12. Quarter past 12. All right, let's take a look at this one. Let's look at the hour. If I extend it out between the 7 and the 8, so it hasn't reached the 8, it's 7. And then let's go to the minutes. Go up here. Let's start counting. Remember, we count minutes by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20. We could also have looked at like our clock. See, I wrote 20 there before, so it's 20 minutes that went past. And it's 20 minutes after what's the hour? That's right, 7. Look at the clock to solve. What time will it be in 30 minutes? Well, first of all, let's take a look at the hour right here, right now. Okay? It has not reached the 5 yet, so it's 4. And right here is 30. So count with me. 35, 40, 45. And we know right here is 45 and this is 15. So 4:45 is the time right now. And we want to find out what it'll be in 30 minutes. So we're going to start where the minute hand is right here, and we're going to count up to 30 by 5s. Okay, start with me. All right. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So now I'm going to move this minute hand like that. I'm going to move it over here. So now this is our new time. All right. So this little hour hand will have moved right over here about. Okay. So it's after the 5. So 5, sorry, I did that really messy. 5, and then the minute hand is at the 15 mark. So 5:15. So Started at 4:45. 30 minutes later is 5:15. What time will it be in 30 minutes? 5:15. What's another way of saying 5:15? When it is, let me show you. What's another way of saying this right here? Yep, quarter after 5. Quarter after 5. Okay, so we will go to the back now. And it says Miguel is meeting a friend at 4:30. Draw the hand clock to show this time. Write the time. All right. So we're going to put a little dot in the middle. And where is half past? Okay, we just got done talking about half past. All right. So I can flip over. Where's half past? If you copied this, you would know it's right halfway around. So I want to draw my minute hand right here. This is half past. Okay? 4:30. So I am not going to draw my hour hand right on the 4. Because remember that my hour hand moves halfway also. So it has to be halfway between the 4 and the 5. Okay? So write the time. What would it be if it's 4:30? 4:30. Number 9. James arrives at home at 6. 15 minutes later, he begins his homework. At what time does James begin his homework? So get your little clock out, and everyone put 6 o'clock on your clock. Okay, take a second and put 6 o'clock on there. All right, you should have the minute or the hour hand on the 6 and the minute hand right like that to 6 o'clock. Okay, so this is where we begin. And it says 15 minutes later. So we're not going to move this hour hand right now. We're going to focus on moving our minute hand. And how many minutes do we have to move it? 15. So let's count. 5, 10, 15. So that's what it will look like 15 minutes later. And that's also called what? See that cue? 6:15. 6:15. So which one of these looks like it? Yep, right here. All right, and the last thing that we're going to do, and I know that I've showed you this before, so what I want you to do is I want everyone to draw a big circle right here. Do it the best you can. Big circle there. Okay, now in order to draw a clock, the easiest way is to do 12 up here, 6 down here. Okay, then what's over here for the quarter after? Yep, 3. And what's over here? 9. That's right. Now let's put a dot in the middle. And then let's just fit the other numbers in. And we did this before when we made our clock. And we've also done this before in our classroom. Okay, and there's our clock. It says draw a clock showing 7:45. Okay, so 7:45, well, I'm going to show you the minute hand. The minute hand goes right over here. Remember how this is 45? If this is 30, this is 45. Remember how this is 45? So we're going to put the minute hand there. If our minute hand went all the way around the clock and it's over here, should my hour hand be right on the 7? No, it should be closer to the 8 because it is almost going to be 8 o'clock. So there's 7:45, and then it says write something you do at 7:45 a.m. That's in the morning before noon. And then this is 7:45 p.m. So that's after school and probably after dinner. And so what do you usually do at 7:45 p.m.? Well, hopefully you're taking a bath or a shower, getting your PJs on, because 8 o'clock or 8:30 is probably a really good time for you to go to bed, okay? And 7:45 in the morning when we had school, well, you would be arriving at school, okay? So I want you just to write what you might be doing at both of those times, okay? All right, and now we're done with that. Oh, our clue word. So on your homework, you can write, I'm just going to have you write quarter or quarters, okay? Just like that, all right? For your bonus points. And now I'm going to have you take a look up here. It says, and they give you, which is really kind of cool, they give you the quarter after, they give you the half past, and they tell you half past. They give you the quarter to, which is on the 9. Okay, so pay attention to this. And remember, this is always very important for you to read. Then it says count by 5s to tell the time, write the time. Okay, 30 minutes after or half past what? 30 minutes after what or half past what? And right here would be the time. Okay, so you would write out the time with a colon here. All right, colon here, and then you tell 30 minutes after what or half past what. Okay, so whoops, oof. So you can have the colon there to do for that. Sorry, I messed that up. The time is 6:10. Is the hour hand closer to 6 or 7, and why? Use your little clocks. Make sure you tell me the answer to that. Over here, they give you the clock. You're going to write this time here and half past what. Joyce picks up at 10 minutes before 7. Which one of these is 10 minutes before 7? Write 2 ways to say this time. 12:35, and then 2 other ways to say it. Okay? All right. Well, that's it. And we'll see you next time.